So Siobhan, why is it important to remember the lesbian history from London's past?
I think it's really important to tie the link between what's happening now and what's happening in the past, because activism never stops. The city is always changing and it carries its memories with it. As we're walking down Brixton today, we see how places have changed and also how places have stayed the same. And we need to remember where we came from and what's happened so that we can go off and create new things and do more stuff now, really. It's most important is now, but the history informs now.
And what attracted you to Rebel Dykes?
Yeah.
How did you join this group of young feminist anarchist women?
Oh, so let's start from the beginning. So I'm a producer of a film called Rebel Dykes. We've been at it for about 3 years now. I don't live in London, none of the film crew do. So I've come down this weekend to do lots of fundraisers to raise funds so that we can make this film as good as possible. It's an amazing film, really, because what we did was we collected loads of archive of this bunch of outrageous outlaw dykes from the 80s. So I collected archive, photos, videos. There wasn't many images taken in those days compared to now when we have camera phones. So it's been quite difficult to get all of this. We've tied it together with interviews and animation and old punk music to make a new film. We're halfway through the post-production now. We're editing it as we speak. And it should be out sometime later this year, next year. So that's why I'm here as the producer of this film. And I made the film really because I was a rebel dyke. Back in the 80s, I moved to London from Liverpool in the early 80s and banged into this outrageous, wild, loud, queer scene of not just lesbians, but of anarchists, of punks, of gay men, all of us making our own spaces, hated by the local population of the UK at the time, where all the laws were against us, but also hated by the sort of new and growing sort of gay, respectable people hated us. We were all, I'm 51 now, we were all like 18, 20, 17, 15, young, full of vim and energy, and really just having a good time, yeah.
And do you think that LGBT history is celebrated in London at all?
More and more. Obviously, with making the film, I've gotten involved with such as the London Metropolitan LGBT Archive. So there is some understanding of the history. I think there's a very big. I think often it's cleaned up and made to look very shiny and white, and not always remembering all of the police raids that happened, and the difficulty with housing and the poverty. And that, you know, a lot of us were homeless or sex workers, that it was really difficult being LGBT in the past. So sometimes it's not. I think one of the things is about London, more than LGBT in particular, is that London is changing so fast that it's really hard to hold on to any history in this city. And without that, we won't know when this city's been scrubbed and turned into one big skyscraper. We've got to remember where we came from.
And how would you like Rebel Dykes to be remembered?
Well, partly with my film, obviously. I'd tell everyone to go to see. But I'm hoping that people will use this as an inspiration and go and do fashion shoots about the Rebel Dykes. They look cool with their big hair and leather jackets and tattoos. Or go and write articles, write in your blog, rediscover the music. A lot of it is there on YouTube. And if not, listen to the film and find out about it. Yeah, so and then go on and do stuff yourself. The world is different. Things are harder. It's very, very hard to fight the system these days. And I totally admire all of the people like Sexual Avengers and that who are doing stuff now. But yeah, the main way to remember it is to carry on being a rebel. Be a rebel.
And can you just plug the film?
Yes.
To me.
Yes.
Say like
yes.
where it's going to be.
Yeah. So the film is in post-production. It's going to be a full-length documentary called Rebel Dykes, about Rebel Dykes from the 1980s in London. It will be shown, we'll be taking it to festivals next year and hopefully finding a distributor, and hopefully in the future you'll be able to watch it online, which I'm sure you will. Just keep an eye out for it. Rebel Dykes. #join Rebel Dykes.